Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Command Center. We like to put our favorite commanders, maybe even yours, front and center. And you know we can't play that. Let's play those three menacing letters, EDH. What does it stand for today, Derek?
So this week, we are enticing dependent henchmen to do our dirty work for us.
Yep. So we want to keep people dependent on us, which is Law 11 of our 48 Laws of Power, 48 Laws of Magic Power series.
Right back into being sociopaths. You notice we dip around like every other video. Oh, they look like they're nice people, but no, they're sociopaths, and we're right back to it.
That's right. So to keep you on that sociopathic level, Law 11, keep people dependent on you. All right. So we're going to find ways to help people, see the value in you and not want to get you out of the game, but also make sure that you stay on top power-wise.
So yeah, this is the just peak of manipulation. In this sense, we want to make sure that we are in that perfect spot where we aren't too far ahead not to threat ourselves, but we're like in cahoots with the person that is, so we're not getting messed up by somebody who has a better board state than us.
That's right. So let's talk about some amazing flavor text that fits swimmingly with what we're talking about here. So this flavor text comes from the card Spurn Mage.
Spurn with an N.
Spurn Mage Advocate. So we're actually going to talk about the advocates a lot, but let's get to that flavor text on this one in particular.
Oh, yeah.
Our unity humbles our foes. So together, us together, we're going to shut you down.
Oh yeah, and then until they're gone, and then we turn on each other. But
yeah.
Then that's huge in a 4-player game. If you have 2 people working together, now you don't want to make it too blatant because then it kind of becomes awkward. But if you have 2 people that are working together, you have so much more power at that table than someone trying to fend for themselves. Like it's just it's a huge advantage. And if you can be subtle about it and not piss everyone off, like that's like next level stuff on how you can really stay ahead.
That's right. So let's get into some of our principles to kind of show you how to get the job done.
Oh, yeah.
So our first principle, seek out weak people in power.
This is so messed up. This is such a good one though. This is the prime example of like if you're playing with like a newer player or someone who might be playing a new deck or something like that, and they just jump out ahead. Someone sat down with their big stompy deck that they just made, and they are about to kill the table with like dragons or something like that. This is the perfect time to try to jump in and just start little whispers in their ear, giving them little bits of advice. And like, oh, he's my friend. He's trying to give me helpful advice.
Yeah, maybe counter a spell or two that's going to stop them from doing what they're doing.
Exactly.
Give them just a little bit of benefit here and there.
Throw a little, oh, I like what you're doing. I'm going to help you. Exactly. Counter something that's stopping them.
Yeah. And
all of a sudden you have this just massive board state of scariness on your side without having to use minimal, if any, resources at all.
That's right. So moving into number 2 of our principles, get people to do as you wish without any force or harm. So essentially what we're talking about here is get people on your side or give them little benefits and boosts without forcing them into submission. Like, throw an aura or 2 over there, help them out a little bit. Just do weird things here and there to get people on your side, and maybe even play some spells or cards that interact with their cards to start, swinging a certain way or just bar them from a turn. But you're not putting them behind. That's the important part.
Yeah, and the key is not pressuring or forcing them into anything, because it is very easy, especially for people that build strong decks, to feel like they need to control the whole game, and it needs to be like a situation. You don't want to be threatening the player in power that, oh, if you come this way, I'm going to do this, this, and this to you. And sometimes games call for that.
Yeah.
But this is talking about doing it in a much more subtle way, so you can avoid that confrontation. You can avoid any type of animosity between you and another player and actually get them to do things for you by, again, using low resource spells. I don't really know too many people that run combat tricks, but if you are, those are phenomenal. Run more combat tricks is apparently going to be the tip for this video, but it's going to help, because if you do that, maybe throw, in my case, maybe like a little tainted strike on one of their creatures and help them to take out other players, they might see you as a friend.
That's right. So moving into principle number 3, have a talent or skill that cannot be replaced. So I see you blue players. I know you throw the temple bells and the maybe even sometimes attempt with discoveries if we're talking green, but most of your blue players who play that spell that helps everybody draw cards. Don't hit me. Don't take me out. Everyone's drawing. Everyone's having a good time, right? Right? Don't trust the blue players.
Those cards are so good. 'Cause full on, most of the time, if someone's playing group hug, everyone's sketched out by it, and a lot of time people turn on the group hug player. But if you're not full on group hug, but you are running those temple bells and those Fontamikos, those type of things.
The Kami spirit.
Yeah.
All those 2-drop.
All those type of things where you're getting card draw, you are immediately that Boros or that mono white or that mono red player's best friend. If I'm playing Krenko and someone runs a temple bell, there is zero chance in the world that I'm doing anything aggressive towards them. And all of a sudden, you're making friends by doing stuff that, yeah, it's helping the table, but it could be putting you in a favorable light.
That's right. So I actually want to highlight some, not legendary cards here, but some cards I feel like that you should probably use to help with this principle. I would even say advocate for this principle.
Yeah.
Using that word on purpose, because just in our first example, from Spurn
With an N.
Spurn Mage Advocate, this 1-drop, look what that card does now. This is actually from a cycle of cards that do this. But look what the card does. Tap it, return 2 target cards from an opponent's graveyard to his or her hand. You can destroy a target attacking creature.
Whoa! Whoa. And it can be different opponents.
Yeah.
So there's again, we're gonna get into all these cards. These are so exciting because running more cards in Commander more than anything else, cards that help other people are not always bad, especially if you're just trying to have a fun dynamic at the table. You get to destroy an attacking creature with a tap effect for no mana, and you get to have someone like you more in the process. It's just, that's a win-win.
That's right. One way to help yourself. Return, we're talking about Shield Mage Advocate. This is a 3-drop. Return target card in opponent's graveyard to his or her hand. You get to prevent damage from a source that would deal damage to target creature or player this turn from the source of your choice. So this card is doing a lot. One is putting the card back into an opponent's hand, but you get to prevent damage from any source. Remember, this card is not target. Sources do not target. You can stop damage from any source by using this effect.
It's so good, especially for all those Aether Flux reservoirs and such that are out there and running around rampant these days. It's such a cool effect, and again, you get to make friends with somebody in the process. I'm liking where it's going.
My favorite, Pulse Mage Advocate.
That's a nice mustache. That's a nice mustache. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's rocking that very nice.
Jealous.
All right, so this 3-drop, tap it, return 3 cards. 3 cards. This is pretty steep. Put 3 cards back into somebody's hand, an opponent's hand. But you get to return a creature from your graveyard to the battlefield.
We might be helping people out too much now, so that's a lot. That's a lot. But we do get our thing directly back into play, which I do like.
Yeah. So, very last one I want to talk about is Orzhov Abacus. This is a 3-drop as well. A lot of 3-drops here.
Yeah.
This 3-drop is a human advisor. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player can put 2 1/1 counters on a creature they control. But if a player does this, they cannot attack you during their next combat.
Yes. This is a fun card. Do you run this in a deck or is it Ken? I've played against one of you guys with this card before.
Not entirely sure.
Okay.
I like this card, but I haven't found a home for it yet.
Okay, then I think it might have been Ken because I've played against this and it is so much fun because they're pumping your creatures. Like, why would you want to swing at them anyway? And then everybody gets on board with this and stuff gets big like really fast because like everyone's doing this. It is a fun card, and it's funny, just the dynamic of these cards in general can force you to replace some more overpowered staples in the format for this, which is going to make your deck weaker, but the cool thing is you're going to have so much interaction at the table, which is the best part about Magic, and so much conversation and stuff that it might be a way more fun game than it would have otherwise been.
Speaking specifically back to this card, notice the player who doesn't put the 2 1/1 counters on a creature. They might be coming for you next turn.
It's a sign. They're telling you something. They're not just. They don't like their little creature. There's something going down.
Yeah. So moving on to our last principle, have some sort of secret intellectual tactic. So what this principle was talking about here is you need to have some type of information that everyone else doesn't have. So if we're playing blue, most likely that you can get some type of intel that everyone else doesn't have. Or, you might just entice other players to just show you their hand if they're trying to get something done. I don't know how you play Magic. I don't know. It reveal information whatever way you want to reveal it, or get other people to reveal it.
It is interesting because information is such an underrated resource in Magic. Now, if you have a super experienced player, and that's actually something that kind of gets back to deck building too. So much of Magic and EDH now has gotten to the point where when you see a commander, you know what the deck does. Yeah. A lot of on-rails commanders have been printed, and there's nothing wrong with that, but when you sit down, you basically know 50, 60, 70% of a deck just by looking at its commander.
Yep.
What you might want to do is maybe throw hidden commanders in there. Run a Chromat as your general for the deck that you're building and have it hidden, because if people don't know what you're doing, you become that much more dangerous. And on the opposite side of that, run cards like Praetor's Grasp, which is just a beautiful card. It lets you look through a player's library. You get to see what their whole deck does and take something.
Yeah.
Like, that knowledge is just invaluable. Obviously, that's not making you any friends, so it doesn't directly relate to the law.
Maybe you can fail to find.
Yeah, that is true. You can not take anything from them.
Yeah.
But that knowledge and just knowing what you're going up against is such a huge thing to have. And if you take that away from people, you become a lot more mysterious and maybe dangerous.
That's right. So let's move into our final part of this program.
Yeah.
We want to call it that. Let's do that commander spotlight. Let's talk about some commanders that'll help you achieve victory as far as keeping people dependent on you. First one we have to talk about is KNT of Miletus. We sometimes talk about this in our group hug deck talks, but I think this one, KNT does not have to be group hug at all, but it has a group hug aspect as far as people get to draw cards and also put lands down.
I've seen this actually a couple times recently where people run KNT as a commander and have no other group hug aspects. They just want those colors. And the one thing I love more than anything else about it is it makes sure everyone hits land drops and draws cards, and it makes a more fun dynamic at the table because everyone gets to play Magic, and it does a phenomenal job, and you're less of a target despite how fact your deck might be super powerful other than that.
Yeah. Moving on to another commander we want to talk about. This one is let's talk about Gahiji. This one is kind of I don't see it played as much. I actually built the Gahiji deck over the past year, and it did fairly well. I like the dynamic that I created with Gahiji, and essentially what it's doing is pumping up your opponent's creatures when they're not attacking you.
Yeah,
so,
it's super cool. What is the that Simic commander when you swing at other people, you draw cards?
You're talking about Edric Spire.
Edric. So I think this does what Edric was supposed to do. Edric just turned into a miserable card for many people that locks people out of the game and turns into extra turns. But Gahiji mastered this. And what it does is it perfectly entices everyone else to swing at everyone else.
Yeah, with just a +2 buff.
And it's great because, one, it doesn't make you that much scarier. Gahiji's not a super powerful commander. But if I'm going to swing at somebody and I can swing at somebody for 6 or I can swing at you for 4, like, I don't know. I'm a bit of a Timmy. I'm going to swing for that 6. That sounds way more fun than holding back and only swinging for 4.
That's right. Last one we want to spotlight is Corona. Not that Corona. We're talking about Corona, the false guy.
An unfortunate name right now, but a great, not unfortunate commander. Corona is super fun in the sense that everyone just gets to pass around this 5/5. You have a weird tribal aspect where you get to pump your tribe by +3/+3, which is kind of just weird that it's thrown on there. But Corona can be a very fun commander, and you can throw basically, it's 5 colors. You can throw all these cool cards that we've been talking about all into this deck and have just a political party going down.
That's right. So let us know in the comments maybe some of your politically savvy cards that'll help keep people dependent on you. Let us know how those games have worked out for you. If you played against some of those cards that do the same thing as well, list them in the comments below. Before we get out of here, of course, we want to spotlight our affiliate link. Order some cards that you've seen that we've talked about, some of those advocates through TCGPLAYER.
All of them. Get the whole advocate cycle. Go on to TCGPLAYER. As always, TCGPLAYER is amazing. They're going to have everything you could ever want Magic-wise, so go down there and help us out.
That's right. Everything you purchase through our affiliate link helps out the channel, and you also get to help out yourself. So it's win-win, and almost like we're keeping people dependent on us.
Yeah,
just a little bit. Just a little bit. Oh,
we're learning. Watch out.
That's right. So, and speaking of learning, we've got to do this at the beginning, but we have the 48 Laws of Power book, the actual book by Robert Greene. So check it out. You can find it online pretty much anywhere. It's been around for a while. But whatever way you want to check out the book, if you want to become a better sociopath, find a way to get that information, or watch some more of our videos.
Both. And you can just be completely psychotic. It's great.
That's right. So please like and subscribe. Tell people about us. Hit that notification bell. Every time we release a video, you will know about it. Our deck text, our other command centers, our laws of power, 48 laws of magic power. Gameplay. We're going to get back to the gameplays. To have some technical difficulties, but we're going to get it back up and running. Try to do it a little bit more consistently. But they are definitely in the works, and they're definitely coming. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for sticking with us. But until next time, Hope our next law of power is a little just as nasty.
Oh, and we're going to stay. You get brief reprieves from psychopaths, but for the most part, we're crazy.
Yeah. So until next time, peace.